Hi, welcome to Hot Chocolate Hits. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Cuban-inspired sandwich because I saw the movie Chef and those sandwiches in that movie were absolutely mouth-watering. Now this is Cuban-inspired because it's a lot quicker to make, but it tastes super delicious. So let's get started. with the pork. We're going to start by combining a teaspoon of salt with a teaspoon of mustard seeds, you can use yellow or black, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of dried thyme, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And you just want to grind these ingredients together. I'm using a mortar and a pestle, but you can use a food processor if you'd like. Once you're satisfied with the consistency of the mix, you're going to rub it onto the pork. Now I'm using some pork loin chops, which are thin and they work beautifully for this recipe, but you can use any type of pork that you like. You'll have to adjust the cooking time slightly because these pork loin chops cook a lot faster than any other type of pork. You can also use that kind of meat hammer and smash it up so that it's nice and thin as well. Unlike a traditional Cuban sandwich, we're not going to slow cook the pork and roast it. We're doing a quick version, which to me is still pretty darn delicious. So once you've rubbed the mix on all of the pork slices, I'm using 6 by the way, you're going to take it over to a pan to which you'll add a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of olive oil. Salted, unsalted butter, it's up to you. Once the butter is melted and the oil is nice and hot, you're going to lay on the pork chops and you're just going to cook them for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side or until cooked through. And I like to do this by testing a knife through the center. So as you can see, it's a beautiful golden brown when you flip it. I am in love and it smells delicious. Place the pork onto a paper towel lined plate so that it can drain off that oil a bit, and then we can prepare the bread. So I love to use crusty bread because I feel like bread makes all the difference when you make sandwiches. So I'm using a medium-sized loaf. It's called a cottage loaf here, but it's kind of like a ciabatta. So you just want to cut the bread to your liking so that it's easiest when you fill it up. I just like to leave a small part that hasn't been cut because it's easier for me when I grill. Take about half a tablespoon of butter and just coat one of the sides. It's easier if the butter is softened, but it doesn't really matter. And then on the other side, you just want to coat it with some mustard. I like Dijon mustard, but remember Dijon mustard is strong. So if you use English mustard, you might like to use it a little bit more. Then you want to layer on the pork, 2 to 3 pieces per sandwich. Next, add on some ham. I'd go with 2 to 3 slices, but it's up to you. Now layer on some good old pickle slices, and just by the looks of it, you can see this combination is swell. And finally, you can't have any sandwich without the cheese. Use a nice sharp cheese. I'm using some Gouda, some Emmental would be good, some cheddar would be good, not mozzarella, although you could try it. And then just assemble your sandwich, put on the lid, press it down slightly, and take it over to your grill. I have a grill pan that I'm just greasing with a little bit of olive oil. You can also use a panini press, it's a lot faster. You want to place your sandwich on and you just want to cook it for a couple minutes on each side. And press it down with something heavy. Just make sure that it's clean, like I'm just using this heavy metal pan that I found. You want to flip the sandwich over and you want to press it down again. Now the reason we press it is so that everything holds in place and the cheese kind of glues everything together. Once the sandwich is toasty and golden brown on both sides, you're going to take it to a chopping board or serving platter and get ready to dig in. Now this is a big sandwich, so if you want to share it with someone, it's all the better. Crisp bread, flavorful, tender pork, delicious cheese and ham, you just simply can't go wrong. Hear that crunch. I've eaten a lot of sandwiches and this one is quick to make, and while it's not totally authentic, it's absolutely delicious. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these Cuban-inspired sandwiches as much as I liked making them, and I hope you give them a try. As always, you can find the recipe on my blog at hotchocolatehits.com, and follow me on Instagram because I post photos of really delicious food. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.